Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to the Adventure Incorporated podcast. I am your Dungeon Master, Anthony Reed. This is episode 227. It is part of the Conclave of the Dragon story arc, and I have a bunch of things. Again, this month we're going to be talking about these things a bunch of times to make sure you get a chance to hear it, to make sure you know what's going on, but just bear with me through these. So, first and foremost, the patrons at patreon.com/adventureinc. We want to thank them so much for everything. They're the greatest. So I'm talking like Brendan, Francis, Kim, Michael, William, and many, many more. Head over to patreon.com/adventureinc. Become a patron like them. Help support things like the Tavern Nights. We had a super fun Tavern Night last month. I'm sure there's going to be a crazy one this month, as it will be just days before we do our Dragon Con stuff. Oh, what a segue that was. So Dragon Con this year is all virtual, and as a part of being all virtual, it's free for anyone to attend, and that means you should check out the stuff we and our friends are all doing at Dragon Con this year. That is Labor Day weekend. First weekend of September. It is going to, basically from Thursday to Monday, there's going to be content streaming basically 24 hours a day for that time frame. And at some point during that window, you'll be able to check us out in the things that we are doing. So as soon as we get a clear schedule of what that looks like, when we will be pushing it hard. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, get on our Discord. That way you can find out when you can come and check out the Dragon Con feed to see our lovely faces. Doing fun, some Dungeons and Dragons related things, some not Dungeons and Dragons related things. It's worth the checkout, I promise. Also, we have our t-shirts at adventureincpod.com, and you have scant weeks left to order the Holy Bananas Y'all Uthral themed t-shirt, as that is very quickly evaporating. Once we reach the end of August, we are retiring that design, and it will no longer be within the rotation. The Adventure Inc. shirt the logo shirt will still be available, and a new shirt design will take its place. So, if you do not yet have your Holy Bananas Y'all shirt and you want one, now is the time. Don't sleep. Don't sleep on it. You'll miss it. Okay, that's it for this week. Let's get started. Nobles and farmers, knights and wenches, gather round to hear a tale of excitement and mystery. Brave adventurers facing grave dangers. Keth, the fighter monk.
On a lighter subject, how's the whole corruption of the Llaniere church going?
On a lighter subject?
Yeah.
Jebeddo, the rogue.
We're basically family. So do you want to admit to your family that all you want to do is learn how to read so that you can read pornos?
Llaniere, the sorcerer.
Oh my god, guys, it worked. The plan worked.
High fives!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. We should have a plan more often.
Asher, the druid barbarian.
With my nipples? Why are my nipples not convincing?
Prepare yourselves, for this is the tale of Adventure Incorporated.
That was insane. I mean, I think you're right,
You are
Lady
right.
J. I don't think it's our job to pick a fucking king.
I know, I'm so sorry. I just
No!
we have
You're
so
right.
much to do, and that seems like something that the Council of Kings can just say, hey, here's another king. Let's do that. Let's take care of this one.
Jen, you're right. We were like, let's do a Council of Kings so we can take things off of our plate, and now there's one difficulty, and they're like, well, what does the Many Pennies think? We're not kings. You're not a king anymore. You literally said I can't be a king because I have too much shit to do. This isn't our job.
Yeah, unfortunately, during the Council of Kings, all of the kings looked to us. They would not have supported Evian if we hadn't.
Which is
right?
insane,
It
right?
is
It's
insane.
totally
Yes.
insane, right?
It is stupid.
We're just 5 frickin' schmucks just running around screwing stuff up.
Yep.
I can punch like really hard if I turn into a rock person. I'm not good at making decisions about sovereignty.
But here we
Used a
are.
big word.
I used a big word earlier, and I don't remember what it was.
It was so great.
Okay.
I
I didn't mean to blow up at Redbridge. Obviously, she's the last person that I want mad at me, even though she hates me anyway for whatever reason.
She high-fived you,
She
Jennifer.
did kind of high-five you.
Redbridge?
Yeah, it was like
Patrick-
the best day of my life until 5 minutes
Patrick
ago.
Darkheart comes in. Redbridge? Oh.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey,
Oh.
Patrick. Hey.
Hey,
Do you want
Yeah.
us to call you Patrick?
Why wouldn't you call me Patrick?
do you know what?
Well, because otherwise we would call you your angel name, your big robot angel name.
That would be ridiculous. Anyway, there's someone here to see you, I guess.
That would be ridiculous. Why would that be ridiculous?
Who is it, Patrick?
Oh, because look at him. He's just a little boy. That's why.
Exactly. Gebeddo gets it.
Okay, Patrick. Who is here to
Who's here
see
to
us?
see us? Or
Oh, I
Redbridge?
don't know. He said he's answering a summons.
He didn't.
Patrick, ask who it is next time.
Let's just
before
let's
you
just
come
go.
You
talk to
are-
Let's
us.
just go.
Now that I know
guys.
that you're like an angel of Verillion, so much more
Oh, he
makes
is.
sense. Like just
Such a sweet little angel. Look
such
at
a
him.
sweet little angel who
He just puts his hands on his face.
like
Oh, God.
Gebeddo rubs the top of his head and like pulls out a piece of candy from his bag of holding. I don't know how long this has been in here, but you're welcome.
I'm going to eat it.
Here.
And then he walks away.
All right, let's go. I mean, we're in Redbridge's office anyway. We can't like stay
Should
here.
we
She'll
lock
just go meet
up?
this person? No.
okay.
I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Does she keep
I
it
pushed
locked?
the little button on the back
No.
of the doorknob.
Okay.
I don't know. She might have secret shit in there. One time, someone had a goddamn lich phylactery in their office. I'm just thinking ahead.
Yeah,
Maybe-
Gebeddo spins the big combination lock on the outside of the door.
Yeah, great.
And like uses the huge vault ceiling ship's not mast. What's the fucking ship steering
Wheel?
Wheel?
Wheel.
Is it just a
It's
wheel?
just a wheel.
Wheel.
That's fucking stupid.
Oh, that's so fun.
Google button that shit.
Okay. Let's go talk
All right.
to this person. I guess.
You step outside.
God, I'd love a
and
nap.
Gebeddo finishes chaining up the doors.
He slides a little key card, but it's like a magic, like perfect. It's a square, like piece of
Yeah,
stone because we're magic.
Yeah, he finishes casting the warding rituals and is like, "Oh, okay, let's
Everyone's gone already.
go. Oh, let's go meet up."
Yeah, the four
Guys?
of you walk out just behind you. Redbridge goes back into her office. She starts undoing everything. No. So the four of you step outside, and at the entrance, at the gates to Mughamara, or to the compound, is a tall figure in a large black hat. He wears a long black coat with scales all down it, like sewn into the coat. And he has a large twisting dark beard.
Full of scales.
It doesn't have scales in the beard, no.
There's more scales.
He's wearing like a scale mail coat.
That's rad as fuck, and someone should
Yeah.
draw that.
Fan art, please.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
I don't know how any of this works.
Who are we talking
I don't know.
Well, right now I'm talking to everyone.
Well, right now, yeah, we're talking to our listeners.
We love you so much.
We
You don't have to
appreciate
do
you.
anything. You know what? Skip this part of the show.
Jennuvera says. Hey. Hello. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Scale Man. Scale Mailman.
Well, Asher,
I
that's
don't know, dude. I want a nap.
Scale mailman?
Asher, what are you doing? I'm so sorry.
This is the mailman?
My name is Jennuvera.
I
Yeah,
know.
he's just here to drop off the scales.
I know who you are. He raises his face to you, and one half of his face is just bone. The eye is a milky white in the socket, and half his face is missing.
Asher grabs Dune Song.
Oh, Gillick's not here right now.
Yeah, this seems like a Gillip call.
I'm not here for Gillick.
You
looking
sure?
like that, I find that hard to
It
believe.
feels like a Gillick thing, but I think I know who it's for, and I look at Jennifer.
I am here to speak to you, Islam.
Islam?
Oh no, guys, that's me. No, that's.
You have
that's
another
actually-
name?
Well, no, I don't. It's not actually.
Your name's Jennuvera.
No, remember? Oh, Asher, you missed this whole part. I found. So okay. Sorry. 1 second, sir.
Sidebar.
So when my dad was trying to cure the dragon blood corruption, he put the blood of a black dragon into me, and then we met like that black dragon. It was his son.
Yeah, I get that.
His son was named Islam.
Yep, I remember that.
And well, you were dead.
No, but you told me about this before.
Then yeah, that's Islam. I have his blood in me.
Oh, I didn't know that part. That part I probably
Yeah.
my eyes glazed over like that guy's eyes are permanently glazed over.
Shh. Asher, don't be rude.
I can't not be rude. I just am rude. I want to
Okay, we're
nap.
all caught up. Hey.
I have
Again.
come to answer the summons.
About the corruption of the black dragon blood, and if you would all be willing to bind yourself to another god.
Well, the summons didn't mention that.
Oh.
It didn't?
Jennifer is so uncomfortable.
I
never
can't
been
believe you
one.
just said that out loud.
We didn't include that in the summons?
I'm so uncomfortable.
Why would we ever? I am so sorry, sir. Would you like
we did-
some tea?
Maybe we should go somewhere and talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably a good idea.
If you'd prefer, there's ale. I know a great place right down in town where we can get a drink together.
I don't
Have
know.
we met before?
Briefly.
Will you remind me of your name?
I am Sithalam, and we once spoke in front of the Soul Engine.
Yeah. When I watched my other dad die.
I did not always agree with Vorislathon, but I do miss him.
Oh. What? Let's head inside.
Where are you taking him?
I would probably take him to my office.
Which office
Like
did
take
you
everyone.
commandeer? Do you?
The one with all the books.
Oh, of course.
The
All right, so
office
you're
of
near the
books.
library.
I think I got my own office.
You just kicked out the library
I think-
from her office.
Right, because
Yeah.
Gebeddo took
Mariffa.
Mariffa's. Asher's
Yeah,
outside.
Redbridge
Yeah,
still has her.
I have a designated area. It's not an office, but it's my office.
Clug is obviously
like a-
still.
I think I probably took like a conference room off of the library.
Clug
or
haunts
something.
Clug's office.
Right.
Yeah.
Keth took Clug's, and he is happy to share it with Ghost Clug.
Roommates.
Roomies.
Okay. So you lead them up to your office, Jennuvera, which is piled high with books. Is Jennuvera like real messy about her books, or real super fastidiously neat about her books, or somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between. So like her shelves are impeccably organized. Like there is a perfect system. It makes total sense to her. But she always pulls books off intending to read them or intending to look through them. And
Mike's face.
Mike's face right now is because this is just our house.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how different she is from you.
Honestly, I'm just leaning into it at this point. So I did have that moment of like, do I make her opposite me or do I make her just me? It's just me.
So like you guys have to clear off the table.
there are like these stacks of yeah. So there are stacks of books on the
you meant
fireplace.
in-game. Sorry.
If
I
like
thought you meant to eat lunch today. Now we're on the same page, Ted.
Your mistake.
Yeah. I own that.
somewhere in between to answer your
Okay,
question.
somewhere in between. Okay.
Asher picks up a book and kind of like thumbs through it and is like, doesn't know what he's looking at and puts it back down.
It's definitely a first edition of something.
I'm sure this is super interesting.
Jennuvera like cringes a little bit at the syrup he's probably getting on
He
it.
wipes his hands on his chest, and you can see like You can see like the.
Ah! I just
Let
picture-
me get this out of the way for you. Let me put it over
What?
here.
The book? Oh yeah, it was good. I read it.
Okay. Okay. So sit down.
Syphilum sits.
Are we all standing?
She looks around at her friends to like gesture that they should sit also if they want to.
Are there seats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like
Lots
a conference table in the middle. It's a big office.
Oh, nice.
The summons I received said you had a plan to abate the corruption after all this time.
Yes. So we've done a lot of research and a lot of talking to various celestial beings. And since the corruption is coming from Herrick's directly, there is no way to stop it. Full stop. An option would be to break your ties with Herrick's. And bind you to another god or another entity, another powerful entity, in an attempt to abate the spread of the corruption.
Would it help if I went and got Llaniere?
Yes, probably.
Great. And
Definitely.
Gebetto leaves. Before Jennuvera finishes her sentence, he is out the door and gone. This is like probably the fastest you've seen him move, including when he disappears in combat. Like he is just fucking hard out. As he shuts the door, like the sigh is escaping him.
Keth looks
And,
at
I mean,
at Gebetto and is just like so mad that he come up with an excuse to leave.
I want you to know that we do not propose this lightly, and I would love for you to forgive any bluntness in my explanation. I know it is a much more nuanced and deservingly sensitive subject than that. But when you're trying to save the world, you know?
I am dying. I am dying, and
Jennuvera does not laugh.
That's just Steph's discomfort.
Jennifer, stop laughing.
Yeah, let us know when you're done, Steph.
I'm
Nope. No, you're not.
okay. I'm done.
I am dying. And when I do, you will be the only one who carries the blood of the black dragons anymore.
I'm sorry. What? What?
I am the last.
What happened? We were just too late?
It has escalated faster and faster. The sickness, it has taken all of them. And it will take me soon. And they will not admit it yet. But once I cannot hold it back, the other flights will face what we face. This corruption is unrelenting.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are there other black dragons alive right now?
No.
Then who is they?
All other dragons, I think, right?
Indeed. If you had come to me a month ago and tried to tell me to renounce my connection to my Creator, to cast down that which makes me what I am, to separate me, I would likely have burned this place to the ground.
Totally valid reaction.
But I am out of options.
Oh my god, I have so many questions. So the corruption has already spread to the other dragons.
I suspect so. They do not show signs like we show signs. Or if they are, they will not tell me of it. I have tried to speak with the flights individually, the leaders of them. Our numbers are not as great as some expect. Indeed, there are fewer dragons now than there have been in any age before, of all the flights.
What do you think that the other flights would think of if we proposed renouncing Herrick's because it destroyed your flight?
I think there are some that will scoff, and I think there are some that know that they are already facing what we have faced. For a long time, many believed that our affliction was one of the magic we are tied to. I do not believe they believe that now. Once the first of them begins to feel the change, once the first of them begins to feel that corruption, they will know. If that takes me dying to happen, so be it. I have nothing left anymore.
I'm so sorry.
I cannot help but think of him when I see you. He tried things that at the time I saw as profane, but he was simply trying to stop this from happening. I don't know if there is anything I can do to help convince the others to do this thing. As I said, I think many will scoff. But if there is anything I can do, I will. And the one thing I can do is something that has not been done in a very long time. Maybe 300 years. I can call the flights together. One last time. I control all that is left of the Black Flight, and they must heed my call. If I wish it.
Jennuvera looks around.
That seems terrifying, but
Yeah.
I think we need it would be so much easier to do this if we have some support.
Gebeddo, you run down through the compound, out to the edge. Are you looking for Llaniere? So you like run into Ghost Clug. You ask him where he is. He tells you where they've been. You bolt out. Along the way, you run into Evian and Redbridge. Redbridge is fuming. She is stomping back and forth up the hallway, and Evian is trying to calm her down. You could try to sneak by them if you wanted to. You're pretty good at that. But it's up to you.
Gebeddo runs past, not sneaking.
Okay. You run past. You catch a few of Redbridge's rantings as you run by. She thinks we're not standing here trying to do things. We're just standing around all day, just waiting for them to come back, like it's just some sort of game for us. And then you get by them. She sees you run by, and a whole new string of expletives comes up behind you.
Sorry, Constance, I'm dealing with something only fucking I can do!
Yeah.
Llaniere doesn't know why, but she smiles a little bit.
You get outside to the edge of the compound. In the woods to the north is where you were directed. So you just go as quickly as you can toward the smoking woods with the large column of smoke rising up out of it. And when you get there, Elatrix, Llaniere, and Visong are in this clearing.
Guys, the last of the Black Dragons is here in the compound right now talking to Llaniere, and I am guessing we're going to need your help to explain kind of what this whole concept looks like to them and probably convince them to do it. I'm sure they're not interested, but we got to go. We got to get there now. Come on.
Llaniere and Visong, who have been focusing on this stone dais in front of them, slowly turn to look at you, and Llaniere says, this is sudden.
Yeah. Are you good? Are you ready?
I am as ready as I can be, Gebeddo.
You and me both. And he grabs him and teleports back to the ritual tower because it's way closer than running out to from the woods again.
Llaniere looks down as you pass through with Llaniere, the feel of this teleportation is very different than any teleportation you've done with anyone else before. It is like the hallways of conjuration that you pass through are twisting and shifting all around you. There is this reverberation to them that you are not used to.
I just want to do a thing!
Llaniere holds his hands out and the walls stabilize and you appear in the ritual tower. He pushes your hand off of him. And he says, do not do that again.
Sorry,
You are a fool who messes with magic you do not understand in the least.
I mean, I would say I understand some of it.
Clearly not.
In the least feels really strong. Anyway, we can deal with this after. I am sorry in advance, and obviously you know more than I do, but we gotta go. And Gebeddo runs out of the room. See you later, Smocks!
He's like, what? What? Bye!
It's like, I'm gonna go find Redbridge. Oh, no!
Oh, good thing she's in a good mood today.
Miss Redbridge, Gebeddo's back.
Just gets a big punch to the face. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Master Constance.
Llaniere makes his way out of the tower. Not at the same pace you are. Do you go on without him, or are you like trying to urge him along?
I do like the opposite, basically, of the smock scene earlier, where like I'm standing kind of sideways, like between, so that I can like look to my left and see Llaniere, and look to my right and see where I'm going, and I'm doing that like side skippy hoppy thing to try and like speed people up, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, Llaniere, Keth, Asher, we are back with you guys.
Let's I think that will probably be a good idea. I think it's something that we will need to do. Let's wait till Gebeddo gets back with Llaniere, because I think Llaniere will know a lot more of the details of like what it entails and stuff.
A conclave has not been called in a long time. Calling one now will certainly cause some levels of consternation.
Will it be one leader from each of the flights?
Or will it be every flight in its entirety?
A conclave requires that a leader from every flight be present, but no dragon is denied a conclave.
So, is there a way to like leave one dragon out of it though?
Well,
no dragon is denied a conclave.
Okay, follow-up question. Who is the leader of the blue dragons?
The leader of the blue dragons is a great worm by the name of Korolak.
Okay.
oh goodness. I don't know if the whole divination thing, I don't know.
Cool. Okay. Is it so? Sometimes when you want to have a party, but you only want certain people there, but you don't want to seem exclusive, you will go up to your 6 friends and say, "Hey, come to this party that I'm throwing for anyone who wants to come." But you like only tell those couple people, and so like nobody else hears about it. But you never said exclusively that you didn't want them. Is that like a thing that can happen?
Keth
That
checks
is-
his etiquette book.
Asher shakes his head like, wow, that's a dick move.
That is not how a conclave is called.
Okay, I didn't think so. I was just hopeful. The thing is, in addition to fighting against corruption and shadow, we're also currently fighting against Gorm Tintreach right now. Not the one from this world, the one from another world. He's trying to... It's a big thing.
Well, the one from this world is no longer
Dead, yeah. Have you had any experience with him?
I do not know of whom you speak, but if it is one of the dragons, there is nothing I can do to stop him from coming if he chooses.
Okay.
Is there any sort of looks over at Keth, etiquette to these sort of things? Like if you call a conclave, like you can't just like decide to like declare war on the other dragons or stuff like that. Like if we call every dragon into one place and they're like, "Oh, hey, look, food," and then we die, that would be not fun. So
You see here, Asher, page 27. To exclude one from an invite of which they should be invited to is considered
right,
rude.
but that wasn't my question.
So, yeah,
that was Llanievera's
it's right
question.
there. That's what I was looking at.
Oh,
originally.
okay. You weren't listening to what I was just saying?
Sure.
Okay.
If I call a conclave, you will be under my protection.
For as long as you live.
Asher,
Just
look that up in Keth's root
I
book.
don't know how to read that well.
Rude book.
Volume 3. Rude book.
Gebeddo, you have reached the door. He's still like half a hallway away.
This guy has some Gandalf vibes right now. He's like, oh, a Fae arrives exactly when he anticipates.
Gebeddo throws the door open and he's like, "Don't leave yet." Llaniere's coming.
Huh? Oh.
Okay.
Llaniere slowly turns the corner.
See? He's here.
Keth, look up in your book, like, door opening etiquette.
Door opening etiquette.
Sithalum stands up. One of the fairy folk.
Yeah. Oh, did y'all not get to this part
Didn't
yet?
we kind of info drop that when we first?
Well, we kind of. All I was here for was a more powerful being.
Oh, you missed.
And then I bugged out.
You missed a lot.
Well, give me like the Cliff's Notes, dude.
Sorry, go.
No,
asked
you go,
Asher.
Llaniere. This is really your thing, and I'm very tired.
I don't care who.
So
when
what we did was
Sithalum dies, I'm going to be the only black dragon left because all of the rest of them are dead. And the corruption has spread to all of the other dragons. And so Sithalum would be willing to consider this change in Ty. He's not so sure about the other dragon leaders, though, but he is willing to call a conclave, which would invite every dragon leader, and no dragon would be denied also.
Well, we can't have that here.
Well, no, we
Definitely
wouldn't have
can
it here.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, we can't have it here. This is where Gorm needs to be.
No, I know. We know that. But the idea is whether we have it.
Oh, yeah,
knowing
but
that.
Judging by this guy's face, he didn't know it.
and
Gebeddo points at Sithalum.
Sithalum
Yeah, but you can-
says, I can call a conclave wherever. This is as good a place as any.
This is
No,
the worst
it's
place
the worst
to call it.
place.
For
Right, but that aside, like, that's a logistical thing that we would decide when we decide to have this conclave. Really, we were waiting for you to bring
Llaniere.
Llaniere so that we could get a little bit more information on what that might look like.
Oh,
So
yeah, and he's
Sithalum-
coming. He's right here. I brought him.
and
Llaniere is standing. He's there.
you did it, Gebeddo.
And just to be clear, the corruption hasn't spread to the other dragons yet. Sithalum is the only thing standing
said it-
in the
It
way.
has.
potentially has.
I believe
but it's
it has.
been. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
It
you were
is
the
a
only thing
tide.
standing in the way. Okay.
It is a tide I have stemmed. But there is corruption among all of them.
Okay.
And when I am no more, that corruption will flow more. And it will not be long before it takes hold as it has on me and manifests as it has on me. And before long, they will all be dead.
Do you? Sorry.
I just wanted to real quick introduce Llaniere to Cephalum. This is the leader of the Fae, the creator of the greater races, Llaniere. This is
Sithalum, the last of the black dragons.
The last of the black dragons.
The last. Yeah.
Or, well, I guess
That is
last and a half.
unfortunate. And you have my condolences, Sithalum. Being the last of anything, no matter how long a span you live, is a difficult burden to bear.
Asher's nodding his head a lot.
I don't know what you have been told about this situation, but I can tell you what I and my people can offer. You and your kin. We are willing to take in the flights under our court. If you do this, you will serve my kingdom. you will be subjects to me and to my court. I would take one from amongst you to be a representative, a noble. The rest would serve under them. That is how we do these things. If this is undertaken willingly, is something the process will begin immediately. If it is something your people choose, but not all choose, we will still begin the process. All I need to know is that your people are mostly on board. A year and a day. In the old ways. This is where magic is born. This is where it has come from. It will take a year and a day for this transition to happen fully. But once it takes hold, you will no longer be of the Celestial. You will be of the Fae. You will be changed. All of you. You will be different. I would not do this for anyone else. I would not take the creations of another god upon my burden. I do this because your master sleeps at my command. I do this because I feel responsible for what has happened here. And so I will carry this burden. You and your kin are touched by darkness, as are my kin. It is a hope that we could one day remove such corruption, but what we can guarantee is that it will not fester. While we may have been touched, we have severed our link. And we would sever yours. Sithalum looks downtrodden. As he listens to Llaniere, you can see that he adopts an expression of someone who has been bested. Sithalum says, there are many powers in this world, many magics, many strengths. I do not know if you could have picked a more difficult one for us to convince my kin to align with. But if he can do what he says he can do, then I think it is necessary.
Now, just throwing another thing, or a question, I guess, in there, because everything is a pact nowadays and yada yada. If there is to say your creator who slumbers and is corrupted, if there is somehow many years in the future past the time where we exist and so on and so forth, your creator is purified and cleansed and made whole again and is able to not be corrupted, would you, Llaniere, be able to put in something that would undo this burden and this pact and return things to normal? Obviously, if it is possible. Because it might not be, but
my magic is a magic of change. I can take what they are and I can change it. And I can make them to be like us. My magic is not celestial magic. I cannot change them back to celestial magic. And the celestials, they do not deal in change. If this happens, it will be permanent.
How will that affect Dragonborn?
the connection between dragon and dragonborn is that of a sibling. Herix created the dragons, and when he saw what we had done with the greater races, he created the dragonborn. They are modeled on his dragons. They are patterned after them. But the changing of the dragons does not change the nature of the dragonborn. The dragonborn have no connection to Herix like that. They are free. They have their will. You, notwithstanding.
Yeah, that was okay. That was going to be my follow-up. I'm less concerned with me than if we had to get an ambassador of all Dragonborn on board with this change.
Your connection is a gift of your father's.
Happy birthday, me!
It's your birthday?
No, it's... Oh,
I didn't
never
get
mind.
anything.
Sorry, continue.
But the rest of the Dragonborn are... They are of the greater races. They have free will. They have their own destiny. It is not tied to that of the dragons.
So how will this change me?
That remains to be seen.
Good enough for me!
The part of you that is touched by dragon will change.
Okay.
Now, as I told you before, there is a choice that must be made with this. A choice that I cannot make. And a choice that the dragons cannot make. And it is possible that you may not want to let them know of it, but I leave that to your own devices. He looks at Cithalum. If you wish for me to speak on it again, I will. If you do not, I will not.
Did you just do the owl from like Legend of Zelda? Like, do you want to hear that again?
No, he's talking about the thing from way
Press A.
before. Not this whole
Press A to
speech again.
repeat.
I'm not going to repeat the speech again.
Verbatim.
Yeah. Good thing I got copy paste, baby. Everyone will just angrily be mashing their forward 30 seconds button on their, just like we used to angrily mash B.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you hit A the first
Oh
time.
no, I picked the wrong one!
Shit!
And then the second time he's like, do you understand? Yes or no? And you hit B and he's like, no, I'll say it again. You're like, motherfucker!
No!
So, this is about the choice of whether you want to forcibly switch all the dragons over, right? Or give them the option to choose?
I speak of the
So-
requirement that one needs to be of my kin.
Right. So if we just to lay it out, we bring all of the dragons together and they say, "Yeah, we're on board except for these two." Everyone that's on board, it happens in a day, and then those two will either die of corruption, or if you force it on them, it will take a year.
It will be more than a day for people to make this change. It will come. Part of it will be immediate, but it will be a transition.
Right. I just mean the quick version versus
Yes.
the
So-
year in a day.
Here's a question. Hypothetically, looks at Jennifer. Hypothetically, he says it again. If you were to change only the remaining black dragon and no one else, that black dragon would no longer be stemming the flow of corruption to the other dragons, correct?
Correct?
So if we change those who are willing and leave the option open to those who wish to change when the corruption goes to them. I think we should still talk to them and ask them if they wish or not, and not do it forcefully. But
This is
show
not
them
an
the
open. This is not an open invitation.
It's not
I
something-
can do this once,
Okay, that was kind of my question, yeah.
and then it will take me a year and a day before I can do it again.
Which... it's not enough. Got it.
So I'm going to throw this out there. I think we should schedule the conclave somewhere. She puts a hand up to Gebeddo. Somewhere else, obviously. I am in favor of doing that, and so I am raising my hand. If you are also in favor of doing that, also,
Asher tepidly raises his hand.
if you have more questions, let's ask them.
Yeah, Keth is all for it. Raises his hand.
I don't feel like I got a dog in this fight. It's up to the dragons.
Well, right. We are
So, like,
putting
if they
it.
want to do it,
No,
then
but I mean,
If
fucking
there is a
let's do it,
dragon in
but-
particular that you are concerned about,
Yes.
then calling.
Yeah. Sorry, Gebeddo. I think you missed this part. The reason that we all have to be on board with even calling the conclave is because there's a chance Gorm shows up.
Every dragon is invited. My only thing is he even connected to the same level of...
So, yeah. So what were you going to say, Sithalim?
That if there is a dragon that you are worried about, and I call a conclave, he will be welcome, and there is nothing we can do to stop that. That does not mean he will come. Now, you mentioned that he is from another world. I do not know if he can hear the call of the conclave as we can.
Oh.
But I think it is safe to assume that he can.
Yeah,
Safe
with
to
Firewatch.
assume he will be there, and safe to assume that it will be disruptive.
Right.
What can happen at a conclave? Like, y'all can't break the pact.
A conclave is not a matter of mortals.
Right.
With the pact, we cannot interfere with your world. But the conclave is our world.
Right. But, like, you still can't interfere with our world after the pact. Like, after the conclave.
No.
And so if Gorm goes there, like, what are we most concerned about?
Him killing a bunch of other dragons or trying to kill
Him
us.
killing us.
Him
Yeah,
killing
that's what I'm
us.
concerned about.
Also, or deciding, pulling some other sort of thing out of his sleeve, being like, oh, you want to forsake yourself to the Fae? Wow, blah, blah, blah. How about, have you considered Shadow? Like, is some other sort of worse option that makes our lives even harder. Because, boy, he's good at doing that.
Those are some pretty good
I thought of
concerns.
Like, he shows up and he was like, well, yeah, no one seems to be happy about this. Have you considered fighting on my side?
Right.
And then...
Can I tell you about our Lord and Savior, the Shadow?
I mean, that's the thing, though, is that, like, he can't choose, like, he can't
He
get
can,
them
because
to-
he's not tied to the pack on this world.
No, he can choose to do that. The dragons can't choose to do that because they're tied to the pact.
Llaniere says, assuming the things that he asks them to do not violate the spirit of the pact, or really, the letter of the pact.
And
Yeah.
See, this is the problem with a system of laws as written instead of laws as intended.
yes, I agree.
So
Did you see the errata for the
What do you
pact
think,
that
Gebeddo?
came out recently?
I heard a bird say.
Clarifying
the
pact. Would you like me to repeat the pact?
We have unearthed arcana that has told us.
My
I just feel like this pact wasn't fully play tested before we really got into it.
My thing is that Gorm doesn't need to do anything other than make the option seem negative, because the option is actively positive for us and actively harms him. So if he can just sow a little doubt, but if we
These are not the things that I was referring to. There is another facet to this that you must consider.
oh great.
But I need you to tell me if you wish to do this in private or in front of the last of the black dragons.
Ooh.
Do what? Sorry.
Discuss
What?
this matter.
It feels, it feels fucked up to discuss it behind his back
Yeah.
if he's
Yeah.
going to have to commit to it.
Right. I don't know why. It also felt weird to say that
Well,
with him sitting right
I
there.
tried to do it more subtly, and it apparently did not work.
We all missed it. It was too subtle.
I agree. So I tried less
What
subtle.
do you think?
You don't understand what's going on with this common thing.
Clearly.
You're
Clearly.
messing it all up.
What do you think, Sithalam?
I would be interested in hearing whatever it is he has to say about what must be done to make this happen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Very well. As I stated before, any of my kin are bound by a purpose. And if the dragons are to be bound to my kin, they too must be given a purpose. It is not a purpose. I cannot choose a purpose for another. And they cannot choose a purpose. The purpose of a Fae is our guiding force. It is our principle. It is
It's something inherent to you, right? Like something that lives inside of you and like pulls you along, and like that's the thing that like makes you you.
Yes, it is a trait. It is not a goal. It is something that is what we are. It is what we are defined by.
So
Gebeddo's like whole face explodes at once with like ideas, and he looks at Llaniere to see if like she's on the same page.
She is on page 397 of her notebook, scribbling notes.
And Keth and
Asher's pretty bug-eyed
Asher
right now, so you got a
and-
good idea that he's on the
is
same
like-
page. But you don't know. He's often bug-eyed.
Keth shakes his head. No.
could their purpose be to provide the power of the magics that they're so intricate, like innately tied
They
to?
could be the new conduits for magic in the world.
It feels so crucial and so important and so innate to who they are.
But, Llaniere, you said you don't
Who
get to
gets to
choose and they
choose?
don't get to choose. So
If
who
we do
chooses?
this ritual, you choose.
Oh, God, this is like when I'm...
Oh, now we're on the same page, Gebeddo. I was like, the great idea, but if it's random,
I want to... a nature is perhaps a better way to say this than purpose. What you are giving them is a definition. You are not giving them power or strength. If they are not a conduit for magic, they cannot become one through their nature. Their nature determines how they interact with the world. It is why I am meant to protect my family. It is my nature. to guard them.
Can I just ask a really small, I don't mean this to be rude at all, and I appreciate the choice, but why would we get to choose?
You have set events into motion. The nature of this world responds to you.
Could we take suggestions from the dragons themselves, and then we would decide that, so it feels like they have a little bit more agency in this decision overall? I'm just really sick of making decisions about other people's lives and business.
There is a swirl of fate here.
This is going to be a long answer, not just a yes or no, isn't it?
It's going to be a no. We have to do it, but go ahead, Llaniere.
It's going to be a long no, though, and I can't wait to hear it. Shut up, everybody!
I'm sorry!
Dad's talking!
Sorry, Faye Daddy.
Llaniere's talking.
There is a swirl of fate around you. One that you cannot escape. One that was set before you from the first moment you stumbled onto Gorm's plans. You are tied to him, and through him you are tied to the events of this world. This world is on the precipice of a change. A new age is coming. You are of the greater races, and in ways you are touched by magics beyond. You are the nexus of a maelstrom. And everyone around you bends. Not because of your will, or because of your strength, or because of your fate, but because of a connection of all three. You have to make these decisions, Llaniere, Jebeddo, Keth, Asher, because they are the decisions placed upon you by fate. If you do not make them, no one will. And if no one does, then this world crumbles. You can run from your responsibility, but there will always be consequences. You can speak with the dragons, and they may have their own ideas of what their nature should be. But that is not their true nature. It takes for a very long time to understand your true nature. Connecting with these creatures, understanding them, that is the gift of the greater races. Beyond free will, beyond ability to choose your own path. It is your connection with one another and with creatures beyond. You can understand these beings better than they will ever understand themselves. And that is why this choice is yours. That is why all these choices are yours, Llaniere. This path is not an easy one, and it is not fair. But it is the path you are on. And you may deny it. And if you do, what comes, comes. The world will be what it will be. But you have a unique opportunity to shape this world, to make it what you want it to be. Few are afforded such a thing, and it would be a shame to waste.
And we'll do this together.
That is the only way you will do it. Call your conclave. I will be present for when I am needed. It's probably best I am not at the actual conclave. I suspect there are many who would harbor a grudge against me.
Will you do me a favor? Will you write all that down?
Me?
Yeah, everything that you said, just so we don't leave anything out while they're making their decision. I wrote it all down. You're right. I can just use my notes. I just don't want to misrepresent you in
He
any way.
raises his hand to his mouth and he breathes out. He pushes forward a small ball of golden energy. And as it touches you, you feel a sensation of memory wash over you of everything he just said. And it replays itself.
How did you do that?
Memory. Memory is an aspect of the mind. It is an aspect I touch. And so I can give a piece of it to you. This seemed a memory that would be more valuable to you than to me. Hold on to it.
I have like a side question,
Thank
but
you.
like that was a really good speech, and so I feel like it's a little off topic.
Then I will leave.
No, don't do that. Are lizard folk of the greater races? Can they be of the greater races? Sort of
The
side
lizard
tangential, but
tangential is generous. I
it's like
Or racist.
it's a question that's sort of
literally
related to
racist,
our we have to make a lot of choices, and you were talking about how dragonborn are essentially greater races created by Herrics but are independent of Herrics. Just curious if the lizard folk are in the same sort of category.
We did not give our gifts to the lizard folk. We did not give our gifts to the gnolls. We did not give our gifts to the goblins or to the turtles, the tritons. There are many races here we did not give our gifts to. The Aarakocra, the Kenku, or the tieflings. These gifts come from somewhere else, but they are creatures with their own destiny. They are creatures of their own path, not bound to deep magic like we are.
Got it. Okay, we can go back to talking about dragons now. You just figure, I knew you would have the answer, and I've been trying to find a time to ask. This is the first time it was quiet for a bit. Also, thank you for sharing your nature. I know that you refused to do that before, and I know that's a private matter for you, so thank you.
If there is nothing else, I think it is best if I go back and continue my efforts with Visong.
Thanks, Llaniere.
Thank you.
He leaves.
Gebeddo follows him.
Okay. I do not know how my siblings will take this.
Yeah, but it's worth a shot, right?
I don't know that we have much else of a choice to make. In a way, this has to work. If it were up to me, I don't know that I would give them the choice.
But if
I
you
have watched all of my family die to this. And I don't know if I could bear to watch more kin fall.
And will you speak for us?
To the best of my ability. I have spoken with all of these people individually, and I am not sure how much weight my words carry anymore.
And if you could change one thing, if you could make the dragons do one thing different, so that we would never get in a situation like this again, and the world wouldn't be in turmoil, what would you choose? What would you choose if you had to choose your own nature? I know you can't, but...
The only thing that I can see is this corruption a nature of... to be pure of it, to be rid of it. That is what I wish. That is what I desire, but I don't know what that means.
Sithalim? Will I be allowed into the Conclave?
You will all be allowed at the Conclave as my guests, but you would be allowed at the Conclave regardless.
I would like to stand with you as a black dragon in whatever sense you'll let me.
He nods.
She nods.
Llaniere walks through the hall. He does not turn back to look at you after you guys leave the room. He's moving much quicker now.
Yeah, Gebeddo
You're
runs to
you're
catch up.
struggling to keep up.
Yeah. Listen, I'm really sorry about the portal thing. It felt so huge and so important
He
for you to
stops.
be there.
I did not mean to be upset. Their magic does not react the same way with me as you might expect it to. I am of deep magic. I am steeped in it. And for it of now 2 kinds, apparently. And to touch the arcane planes in such a way, especially through something so powerful, is dangerous. There was a moment where I almost took us somewhere completely different, changed the pathways, moved them. And it is in my nature to do that. I can't help it most of the time. If it had not been such a short distance, I don't know where we would have gone.
Sorry. It's a little in my nature to be impulsive sometimes.
I guess I am to blame for that too.
Oh, I like it.
Me too. Hey everyone, just a couple quick reminders. If you like the show, don't forget to tell your friends. And you can head over to patreon.com/adventureinc and become a patron as well. You can also head to our website, adventureincpod.com, for links to our social media and the store where you can find t-shirts, stickers, and more. That's all. We'll see you next week.